The Origin Arc. Long ago, my father was known as a symbol of peace, lightning strike, but 6 years ago he was killed. Now it is up to me and my sister, Jessica Jefferson, to carry on his legacy. My name is Tony Jefferson, and this is a story of how I became the symbol of hope, lightning strike. Friday, April 29th, 2018. Tony and Jessica would be sharing rooms together, having separate beds at both ends of the room. Emily would enter the room and turn on the lights to wake them both up. "Wake up, you two. It's time for school," Emily said. Jessica and Tony would wake up. Tony not really having a problem getting up, but Jessica would be fighting her sleep. Jessica complained about waking up for school, tried to reason with Emily to not let her go to school for the day, but Emily was not having it. She told them that they had to go to school this time, since this was the fourth time she woke them up. Emily Jefferson is the mother of Tony and Jessica Jefferson. She's a tech genius and knows how to make suits, but nobody never really knew what her official job was. But at the same time, nobody ever cared. As long as it kept the roof over their heads, they weren't complaining. Tony wondered, why didn't his phone wake him up? He went to go check his phone and found out that it was dead. Emily once again told him to get up, telling them they wouldn't want to miss the bus. They listened to her and started getting up. After at least 10 minutes, they finally was heading out the door. On the way to the bus stop, Tony would pull out his phone. He charged his phone by using his electrical powers, causing the phone to get fully charged. Jessica told Tony if he kept doing that, his phone might explode. Tony attempted to deny her, but Jessica pointed out how Tony managed to overcharge 4 other phones before. Tony told Jessica whatever in an annoyed tone. It would then cut to later on that day. They would be at school, sat at the lunch table. Tony would be eating the lunch food, but Jessica wouldn't. She'd be disgusted by the food. "Seriously? Who'd eat this crap?" Jessica said to herself. She then looked at Tony eating. Tony would have heard what she said, and they would both proceed to look at each other. Tony spoke while eating. "What? I'm hungry, okay? The food's not even that bad. At least they have good pizza." Josh would walk up to them and pat them on the back. He greeted his favorite friends. Josh Parker is Tony and Jessica's best friend. They knew this guy since middle school. They both really see him as a brother, to be honest. Josh would sit across from them. "So, how are you guys? I see Jessica finally decided to actually go to school today," Josh asked, curious of how they'd been. "Yeah, my mom forced me to," Jessica answered. Rose would walk up to the table and sit across from them, too. Rose, also one of Tony's and Jessica's friends from middle school. "Hey, Josh, Tony, and what? Jessica actually went to school?" Rose would say in a playful tone. "I know, right? What a big surprise," Jessica said in a sarcastic voice. Josh would have asked them what were they planning for the summer. Tony said that he would probably find a job or go to college. Jessica said that she'd probably going to find a job and said that going to college didn't really seem necessary to her. Rose planned to go on a vacation to multiple cities. Tony would ask Rose if he could go on a vacation with her. Rose would have said yes in a nervous tone. Josh and Jessica told them that they would like to go too. It would then fast forward to later on in the story. Tony and Jessica would be walking home from school. "Hey, Tony, since we're graduating high school, you know what that means, right?" Jessica asked. Tony would have answered Jessica's question, saying that it means that they'll have to carry on their father's legacy. Jessica would have had asked him if he was nervous. Tony would have said, "Me? Nah, not really. Jessica would then say, "Good, I don't need you holding me back because you are nervous and stuff. I think I'm gonna call myself Thunderstrike." Thunderstrike? I thought you was going to be Lightning Strike, or maybe we could share the name or something, Tony said. Jessica would wonder why he thought that, and ask him why. Tony thought that because Jessica came out of the, womb first, so he thought that she would take on the mantle as Lightning Strike or share the name together since they were twins. Tony was now realizing what he thought didn't really make much sense. Nah, I want to become my own hero. A hero people can look up to, just like Lightning Strike, Jessica said. Well, okay then, Tony said. They'd be in front of their home. Jessica told Tony that he could go inside, as Jessica wanted to explore the city some more. Tony and Jessica would then go their separate ways. Jessica would go to the other direction, looking to explore the city, while Tony would enter the house. Emily would be in the kitchen cooking. Emily would have asked Tony where was Jessica. Tony answered her by saying that she just went for a walk. Tony would go to the bookshelf and tap a button 5 times in the wall. A secret passageway would open. He'd walk in and find Andy there, working on stuff. Andy Thompson is a friend of Tony and Jessica's father. He's kind of like a father figure to them. It's kind of odd though. For a man that is over 50 years old, he sure is kind of in great shape. Great shape. Andy would ask Tony, how was school? Tony would answer him by saying, the same, teacher giving us boring assignments. Tony would walk up to his father's suit display and look at it. Then he'll go to his own suit and stare at it. It would then cut to Jessica. She'd be walking up to a corner store and would see that the place had been robbed. She'd see the manager explaining everything to the police. She'd shake her head and keep walking on. She had been walking for at least 30 minutes, just daydreaming and minding her own business. Then she'd see some criminals in the alleyway. Bro, we really did so good with that robbery, the first criminal said. The second criminal would add on by saying, exactly, it was, huh? The criminals would see Jessica at the entrance of the alley. Criminal 5 would told her to scram, or else. Jessica would be frightened for a little, and then would whisper to herself, don't be scared, Jessica. You'll have to fight plenty of bad people like that in the future. Criminal 5 would then proceed to say, I guess she's not listening. Criminal 5 would pull out his gun, but Criminal 3 would stop him. Stop. I got this, Criminal 3 said. Criminal 3 would then proceed to start walking up to Jessica. Jessica would zip up her jacket and pull on her hood. As soon as Criminal 3 threw a punch, Jessica would dodge his attack and punch him with super strength, sending him flying back, making him land in front of the group of criminals. They'd all be surprised for a few seconds. Criminal 5 would then say, you're going to pay for that. Criminal 5 would pull out his gun at Jessica and held her at gunpoint. Well, that was the end of Chapter 1, The Beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. I really hope my narration wasn't that bad, but I promise, later chapters, I will bring so much more emotion to the narration. I might try to get people to voice act certain characters. I honestly don't know, since getting the voice actors might be more time consuming. But let me know what you guys think. Friday, April 29th, 2018. Jessica would be held at gunpoint. She'd be thinking to herself, oh crap, I'm about to get shot. What do I do? Oh yeah, I just need to dodge the bullet. I'm sure Dad had dodged plenty of bullets back in his day. This is no different. I can't let Trini go to waste. Jessica would get a flashback of when she was 9. Floyd would be talking to her and Tony. Remember, when your opponent has a gun, don't panic. Ready yourself. Let the lightning flow throughout your body and time your dodging, Floyd said. It would then cut back to the present. Jessica would let the lightning flow throughout her body. As soon as Criminal 5 pulled the trigger, Jessica dodged the bullet. The criminals will all be surprised. What the? Holy crap, she dodged the attack. Who is this girl? They all said. Criminal 5 would then say, what are you waiting for? Try to shoot her again. Criminal 5 would then shoot at her 5 more times. But she dodged every single bullet. She'd leap at him and kick him, make him fly over the group of criminals and land in a garbage bin. The criminals would be surprised. They'd be frightened by Jessica and ran, leaving the money. No, the money, Criminal 2 said. Criminal 1 would then say, screw the money, let's get out of here. Criminal 4 would yell, the boss won't like this. Jessica was curious about what they mean when they said that. As the other criminals ran away, Criminal 5 would get out of the trash can and also attempted to run. But unfortunately, he was limping, so he couldn't really get far. Jessica would eventually grab him. Jessica demanded him to say who he worked for. Criminal 5 answered and said, no name. Jessica was kinda annoyed of his answer and said, bro, I'll give you 2 black eyes. Criminal 5 would then quickly reply to her, no, seriously, that's his name. The man with no name. After that, it would then fast forward to Jessica at home, with Tony, Emily, and Andy. The man with no name. That's what he said. After that, I left before the police and got home, Jessica said. Jessica, that was dangerous. You could have been killed, Emily stated. But I'm not though. I'm completely fine, Jessica replied. Emily wouldn't be pleased. Still, I told you both, when you graduate high school, you can both finally be heroes, Emily said. Jessica would then say, oh, come on, Mom. Emily would cut her off by saying, I don't want to hear it. Emily would walk off. Tony would sit next to Jessica and ask her if she was hurt. Jessica would answer him in a cocky tone, saying, me? Get hurt? Please, I completely destroyed their egos. The other ones didn't even bother to fight me. They just ran like a bunch of cowards. Tony would still tell Jessica to be more careful. It would then change to Criminal 1's point of view. He would be walking up to a man in a hat, wearing a gray coat and black pants. He was looking out of the window. Sir, the guys robbed the corner store like you ordered. After that, a woman came and beat up Jared. We accidentally left the money. I'm so sorry, Criminal 1 said. The villain told the criminal to not be sorry, as he was actually expecting this. Criminal 1 would be confused. The villain would turn around and face the criminal.
Don't worry about the money. We have other things to worry about. You can go now.
Okay. The criminal would leave. The villain would then look out the window again.
So, I see they finally grew up and decided to play hero. Good.